Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Harry, and in today's tutorial we are going to take a look at a very interesting programming language, Python. So before we start, I just want to make the time to tell you a little bit of introduction to Python and to tell you that I'm planning on starting a tutorial separated videos about Python here on my YouTube channel. That's the reason I actually created my YouTube channel. I just want to explore different things and I want to explore them with you guys, my viewers. So with that being said, let's talk about Python. So in the beginning, let's start from the beginning. Python was founded in 1989 by Guido van Rossum, and it was developed as a programming language for administrative tasks. It's based on O Basic Code, also known as ABC, and modular free. It is code after the TV show on BBC, Monty Python's Flying Circus. It has nothing to do with reptiles. It was officially released in 1991, and it has a very fast growing community of Python developers, such as me, such as you. Important thing to tell you guys, to let you know, is that older versions of Python, such as Python version 2.7, will stop being maintained after 2020. So my suggestion is to just get the latest version of Python and always work on the latest version of Python. Some interesting things about Python: it is designed to be simple and powerful, fast prototype developing. It is very interpretative and interactive. It's object-oriented programming, so everything in Python, every single data is an object. It has high productivity in program development, a lot of integrated functions to help you realize every single idea you have. It supports Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac, OS X, and other platforms, and it is completely free. So with that being said, let's go ahead and actually download Python on our PC. So to download Python, you gotta go to their official website, which is Python.Org. After that, you just go to downloads and you choose your platform. If you're on Windows, you just press here. So the latest version is Python 3.7.4, and note that Python 3.5 cannot be used on Windows XP or earlier. So if your platform is a little bit outdated, sadly you won't be able to use the latest version. Okay, so after you download the file, you just go ahead and install it. I suggest you install it in local disk C. Just do a basic installation. Just do whatever the Python installation program says. And after you downloaded Python, before we actually open the idle, I want you to do something. So let's install a package management called pip. Pip is used to install and manage software packages, such as those found in the Python package index. So pip is a replacement for easy install, basically. So let's install pip, and after that we are going to install virtualenv, which is a software package. Okay, so to install pip and virtualenv, we gotta go to the command prompt. And virtualenv means virtual environment, which will be really useful in future intermediate tasks, such as websites and 3D stuff, and yeah, just a little bit intermediate stuff. So in order to install it, you go to your command prompt or terminal and you run as administrator. When you're in here, you first of all you gotta find your Python folder, the folder that Python is installed in. So my Python program is installed in here. Here it is. And when you're here, you just go to scripts and you copy the whole path. Now in the command prompt you enter this cd. Now our command prompt got the directory of the scripts. So to install pip, we just go ahead and type in py-m pip install xlwt. Now I've already installed pip, so there's a reason it says requirement already satisfied, but if you're new to Python, if you just downloaded Python, when you type in this function, this command, sorry, it will actually say, you know, collecting pip, and at the end of the collection it will say that pip has been successfully installed. Now, when you install pip, you want to go and type in pym -m pip install virtualenv, which is virtual environment. Now, I already have it installed. That's the reason it says requirement already satisfied. But if you're new, it will say collecting virtualenv, and at the end of it, it will say that virtualenv has been successfully installed. Okay, so after you did that, in future videos, so probably in my next video, we're going to talk about how actually virtual environment works and how to activate it and deactivate it. So now, after we did that, we can go ahead and actually open Python itself. So we just go to the search, we type in Python, and we open the idle. So the idle contains a shell, and it contains also an editor. So the shell allows you to execute Python commands, and the editor allows you to write Python programs and run them. And when you run them, they'll be run here in the shell. Okay, so let's get a little bit deeper into Python's functions and what exactly Python offers. So I actually created this file here with all different functions and Python operators. So let me just, tutorial. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to get into actually is the idle color coding. So the color coding is different for every single, you know, function. So for data and variables, it's a black color. So it could be, you know, a number or a variable. We're going to get into variables in a little bit. So the green color is for strings. A string is a word. It can be, you know, it can be a sentence, whatever. But the important thing of a string is to have these syntaxes before it and after it. Now the purple color is for functions like length, print. Okay, so the length function will just count how many letters a string has. For example, hello, it has 5 letters. You know, it'll just show up, you know, 5 letters. So let's do it. Yeah, 5 letters. So it just counts the how many letters does the word have. Now the orange coloring is for functions, and let's give the example given is if for else functions. Now the blue color is for user functions such as get area, and the comments is with a hash, and this is a comment. This is the dark red coloring. And of course we got a light red coloring, which is an error message. So let's say that we type in hello, it will give us an error message. So this is the light red coloring about error messages. So let's go through some Python variables. First of all, we're going to talk about mutable. And after that, we're going to talk about immutable. So we're going to just take a, you know, quick look at them because they're just too many, and you can't, you know, you just can't actually learn from one tutorial all about everything, you know. So mutables are list, dict, set, bit array, user defined classes. So a mutable is something that you can change always. Now the immutable variables are int, float, decimal, complex, bool, string, tuple, range, frozen, set, bytes. So immutable means that this is something that you just cannot change. When you enter the first letter or whatever, the first function, you cannot change it anymore. You gotta rewrite the whole code. Okay, so now the other thing that we're going to take a look in this is the data types, and values from different types allow different operations. This is a very important thing to know. And to check the type of every object in Python, we use the function type, and here is the object. The object goes into the brackets, into the empty brackets. So here we have the immutable integer. So int is integer. And the example given is 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 47, and it's unlimited in length in Python 3.x from 3 upwards. Now the float function is a floating point number, so the example given is 3.1415 minus 2.5. Now a string is the character stringing, and the example given is this is a string in syntaxes. Don't forget about them, because if you don't include syntaxes and just do it without syntaxes, it will give an error. Now the bool function is boolean, and it basically just gives you a true or false value. Now the complex is a number written as two floats with a j as the imaginary part, and here is an example: 5.3 plus 2j, mat vs cmat. Now here is what actually str looks like in a Unicode. Now here is what a list looks like. So this is mutable. So a list is with these type of brackets. Now a tuple is immutable. Okay, so a tuple is with these kinds of brackets, and it's completely immutable. Okay, so if you enter these values, you gotta rewrite the whole code. I mean, you just cannot add some stuff on the way. You just cannot do that. You gotta go into the program and add them manually. Okay, so now we have set and frozen set. So set is mutable, so this is how a set looks like. Now the frozen set is immutable, and it cannot have duplicates, and it cannot be unordered. Now the dictionary or hash, here you have an example. So this is group of key and value pairs, so you can have words, you can have numbers, you can have bool function in it. It's just a group of key and value pairs. Now let's talk about the simple data types. So we already went through strings, integer, this is a float, this is hex, oct. So this is what will pop up in our shell if we type in oxff. This is just some really advanced maths. So yeah, it's some math functions. So yeah, this is what we're going to get if we do an oct. Yeah, 25. Yeah, actually, yeah, I made a mistake, sorry. Yeah, 25. Okay. Boolean is true false, complex 1 plus 2, j is the imaginary part. Now we got the structure types, which is a list is a structure type, tuple is a structure type, dict is a structure type, set, frozen, and the function lambda. Which lambda x, y, it just equals x plus y. Now let's talk about variables. So variables is a named piece of memory that can store a value. Usage: compute an expression's result, store the result into a variable, and use that variable later in the program. Assignment statement stores the value into a variable. Now the syntax, the way it should be written is name equals value. So here could be a string. Okay, so here we can just do word. Okay, so actually I'm going to go and in the shell and actually just give you an example of it. So let's say the name equals John, and it also equals David. Now if we type in name, this is a variable, and it just prints us the values given, which are John and David. Now we can we can make name to be equal to name 2 and to be equal to name 3, or we can just actually do name 1, name 2, name 3, as in here, and we enter a value. So this value will be, let's say, Mark Cuban, whatever. Okay, so now if we type in name 1, name 2, name 3, it'll give us the values of each and every one. So we basically assigned Mark and Cuban to 3 different variables. Now if we type in name 1, name 2, name 3, we'll get John and David as well, because we typed in the name variable, our first variable. Now variables can have a short name, X, Y, A, B, up a B or more describing names such as name, age, length, and name of variables cannot start with a number. This is a very important thing. And age, and these things are three different variables. Be careful how you type them in. So if we give, let's say, age equals let's say 16, and age with like that, it equals 20, and age with only upward of a capital, age with a capital A will equal, let's say, 30. So now age with no capital letters will equal 16, but age with all capital letters will equal 20, and age with only a capital letter will equal 40. I hope that you get me. I really hope, man. I'm sorry if I'm making things a little bit harder. Now we have functions that provide for data conversation. We have oct, and this function is going to convert your integer into an octal string. We got integer, x will be converted into an integer while the base tells if x comes out as part of a string or not. We got the hex, x, your integer is going to be converted into a hexadecimal string. Or x, a single character, is going to be converted into an integer value. Float x, the variable x will become a floating point number. Complex, a complex number will be created. CHRX, the x integer is going to be converted into a character. Now the STRX, x is going to be converted into a string. So if you have, let's say, I'll give you an example in a bit. So eval str, the string will be evaluated, and you end up with an object. So let's say that you have a variable named r. Okay, so this variable r, we're going to use it as an input function of the user for a number. So you get me. I hope you get me. So as we said, a string cannot be a number. So when you have the input, let's just do the program, man. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so this is a really simple program. Okay, this is a really simple program. Now on the top of our program, we just import p. We are going to need it in this radius calculating program. So this radius calculating program, and I just want to prove my point. So for using str, so an str is a string. So str function, as said here, x is going to be converted into a string. So let's say that r equals float input enter radius of circle you want to compute. For instance, this is just a test. Okay, so now we close it with two brackets at the end because we have more than one here. And now we go into the function, so circle with radius of, and now here we use the str function because r will be, it will be a number. With the float function and the input, the user will enter a number. So a string cannot be a number. So we gotta make it. We gotta make the number a string. So we do it by doing this. So we just do str, and we enter our variable, which is r. Okay, so we enter our variable. Now we just type in some other stuff, is, and now plus, and we just do this. We do pi, which is the function, times r power by 2. Okay, so now let's see if we are actually done, if we did it. Yeah, okay, so let's say the radius is 1.1. Yep. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I made a mistake in here. Let me see what's happening. Yeah, and that's actually the very interesting part of Python. Is just you gotta keep track of everything you do, because every single mistake it will just ruin your whole program. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, I forgot the str before p, before the formula. So yeah, so we gotta create again the numbers into str, into string. So now it will work. Yeah, circle with radius of 1.1 is 380 whatever. So this is a very simple program, very simple program to compute radiuses. And this is how we use the str function. In other, in the upcoming tutorials, we are going to use every single one of these functions in programs so you can get it. Now we have types of operator. Now Python language supports the following types of operators. We have arithmetic operators, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponent, also known as power, and floor division. Now we have comparison operators, you know, we got bitwise operators, we got logical, membership, identity, math commands. Okay, so let's go into the comparison operators, just a quick overview of you know, the comparison operators. So, yes, this like that. Now we use this if the values of two operands are equal, then the condition becomes true. Now we use this, sorry, with an X, yeah, like this. We use this if the values of two operands are not equal, then condition becomes true. Okay, now yep, sorry, I actually wrote them wrong, so yeah, I'll just do them again. I'll use this, this, this. Now, so we use this if the values of two operands are not equal, then condition becomes true. If the value of left operand is greater than the value of right operand, then condition becomes true. If the value of left operand is less than the value of right operand, then condition becomes true. If the value of left operand is greater than or equal to the value of right operand, and we use this if the value of left operand is less than or equal to the value of right operand. Now we also have bitwise operators, which you don't really need at this point, but let's go through them. So this is a binary AND. Operator copies a bit to the result if it exists in both operands. Now we have the binary OR, which is this one, and it copies a bit if it exists in either operand. Now we have the binary XOR. It copies the bit if it is set in one operand but not on both. Now this binary one's complement, it is unary and has the effect of flipping bits. Now this binary left shift, the left operand's value is moved left by the number of bits specified by the right operand. And this is the opposite of left shift. Now we also got logical operators, which are AND. So this is a logical AND, which is if both the operands are true, then condition becomes true. Or this is logical OR. If any of the two operands are non-zero, then condition becomes true. And NOT, this is the logical NOT, used to reverse the logical state of its operand. Now we also have some membership operators, which are in. It evaluates to true if it finds a variable in the specified sequence, and false otherwise. Nothing is the opposite of in. And we got identity operators. So is evaluates to true if the variable on either side of the operator point to the same object, and false otherwise. Is not is opposite of is. Now here I provided you some math commands. So ABS value, absolute value, CO rounds up, cos, cosine in radians, floor rounds down, log, logarithm base E, log 10 value, logarithm base 10. Now this is a max of value 1, value 2, which is larger of two values. Min is the opposite, smaller of two values. Round value nearest whole number. It just gives you the nearest whole number. Sin value, sin in radians, and SQRT value, square root. And we have some, some constants with e equals to this and p equals to this. Now, with that being said, we also have a lot of Python keywords which I have not mentioned in here, so I can just type them all in. So it's and, del, from, not, while, as, elif, warble, or with, assert, else, if, pass, yield, break, except, import, print, class, exec, in, raise, continue, finally is, return, def, for, lambda, try. So these are all Python keywords. You know, these are probably the keywords that you're going to use the most. So it's really good to know them. We'll actually go into depth with them in our upcoming tutorials. So we're going to do a lot of programs with all of these functions that we learned today. So with that being said, we can actually do a print function program. Which is going to be a very basic one. So let's say that we want to open test free. Okay, so here we go, a very simple program. So we're closing this. Let's do it. Okay, so now we're going to make a program using the print function. Now, first of all, let's talk about how print actually works. So we're actually going to do it here in our shell. So let's say that a variable of a equals 5. Now we want to print that a equals 5, that a equals 5. So we do it with a print function with a bracket. After that we enter a syntax, a equals, we close the syntax, and we add our variable after we close the syntax. So now if we press enter, here's what happens: a equals 5. Now in this function, two objects are passed. Now you can pass as many objects, free. You can do a free. Let's say that a, the b equals a. So now if we print a equals a, and then we just print that it equals b. Now a equals 5, which equals b. Now let's do a simple program, very simple beginner program. Okay, so now we're opening our test free file. So now here we can just do a print, enter your name. After that, we're creating a variable x, and we use one of the most useful functions, input. We use input with empty brackets. So after that, we just do print, enter your age, another variable which is y, input, and after that we just go hello. We close the syntax plus our variable which is x, plus syntax dot plus ur, let's say like this, ur. Now we want to get his ears, so we close the syntax, we make a plus, and we enter our other variable which is y. We then make another plus, years old. We close it. Now if we print it out, so first of all let me explain what's happening. So the first thing that will pop up for the user is enter your name. After that he just enters his name, and his name gets stored in here in the empty brackets of input. It could be whatever name, and it automatically gets stored in x, in our variable. So the same thing happens with the second print, enter your age. It gets stored in the y input. Now after that we just print hello plus our variable, which is the name of the client, plus UR, plus different strings, plus the age, which is this variable, and years old, and we just complete it. Now it runs here in the shell. So now we just type in John, enter your name, enter your age, 20, and now it says, hello John, you're 20 years old. So there are different ways of making it. So this is a really beginner program. So let's take a look at another one. So let's say that the name is already stored. So the name is Julie. Now the age is already stored and the age is 42. And now the sentence is, hi, my name is, with these curly brackets, empty brackets, and I am years old. Now just do a format, name, age. So basically here is what's going to happen. So we got the name variable, we got an age variable, and we got a sentence variable. So now this is a sentence. So it says, hi, my name is, with curly brackets, empty. So in here, when we use the dot format function and name and age, when we name our variables, the name variable will automatically go to the first empty bracket, curly bracket, and the age variable will go to the second curly bracket. But if let's see how it runs. So we just print sentence. We just print out this variable. Now it says, hi, my name is Julian, I'm 42 years old. But if we make, age as first and name as second, this is what happens. Hi, my name is 42 and I'm Julie years old. Which, yeah, which is not correct. So you really just gotta keep a mind on detail. Every little mistake can ruin your whole program, and if you have, let's say, thousands of lines of code, if you mistake even one, you gotta go and search for the mistake. But this is the good of IDLE, actually, is that even if you make a mistake, it will tell you in which line is your mistake exactly, so you can go and fix it. So now we can, let's see. What else can we do? There are a lot of functions. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a look at the S lower, S upper, S strip, S starts with, S find functions. So basically, let's go into the shell. So let's say that the name, let's say that A as a variable is hello world. So now if we type in A, this is what it's printing out. So if we do it with a lower function, it just gets us hello world with no capital letters. If we do a upper function, it gives it the opposite, all capital letters. We can do a strip, and we can just do this. Oops, sorry. We gotta do it like this, as a list. Now if we do a strip, oh yeah, as a list but with commas. If we do a strip, commas, yeah, sorry, yeah, I'm mistaken this. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, let's do actually a B. So B will equal hello with spaces, hello world. And now if we do a strip, B strip, it'll give us, like this. But if we don't do a B strip, it'll give it like, like with space before it. So if we do a strip, it gives us without space before. Now there many other functions that we can take a look at, but I personally think that this is about it for this tutorial, because we're just going to get into a lot of functions and you'll get really confused. So with that being said, I'm completing today's tutorial. We learned a lot about data types, about variables, about color coding, about the print function. We also saw how length function works. We learned a lot of things today, and we also installed pip, we installed virtual env, so you're really on the right path. So now, also I want to tell you that in Python.org there are a lot of useful contents here. So you can just go to the documentation and you can read the beginner's guide, you can read the developer's guide, which will really help you a lot. There are Python books, essays, there is a community forum, community survey, there are news, success stories, events, about jobs, so many things in this site. It's really useful. So if you really want to get into Python, I suggest that you go through the beginner guide and the developer's guide as well, to see what Python really is about. um, I can also I will provide each one of you with presentations about Python and its functions, with an introduction, with different Python already, already created Python programs that you can look into, look through, and just, just copy and paste them to see how everything works, which I think that it will be really helpful for you. So the presentation and apps, I can send them to you via email, or I can also provide you with a download link. I'll just upload them in some kind of a cloud server or whatever, a cloud website, and you can just download them from there. And if you have interest in these presentations and apps, just please leave a comment or just message me directly, or just let me know that you need them. I'll send them out directly. No wait time, I promise you that. So with that being said, I'm ending this tutorial. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you're not confused, and I promise that I'll get better at tutorials, because this is my first ever tutorial here on YouTube, my first ever video. It's a little bit amateur, but with time I'll get better. So if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps me out. And thank you so much. Just follow your dreams. Everything will be okay. Thank you. Bye bye.